As you know, my name is Marcia Longdon. I'm one of the immigration partners at Kingsley Napley. Over to my wonderful guests.
Thank you, Marcia. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Marco Mazzeschi. I'm an Italian lawyer, and I'm proud and work closely with Kingsley Napley. And I'm here with my associate.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm a senior immigration consultant with Mazzeschi.
So I'm looking forward to our discussions, albeit they're going to be rather sort of a bit brief, but I was so interested to understand what UK nationals should be doing in Italy. Sadly, the end of free movement happens by the 31st of December 2020. I know that for Italian nationals living in the UK right now, they have until June 2021 to make sure that they apply for settled status in the UK. That can happen if they've been here for a couple of weeks, but if they're planning to live here and stay here, we are encouraging people to come over to the UK now and apply for their settled status. If they've already been living in the UK for a number of years, then they can apply for settled status now, which is obviously part of the withdrawal agreement. It's a very easy process to do. One downloads an app and so on. One of the things I think that might be useful to clarify, because it's some of the questions that we have received, if someone's been living in the UK as an Italian national for, say, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, they still have to apply for the settlement scheme. And that's something that we often think is quite important to clarify. If an Italian national comes to the UK for the very first time, having never been here before, from the 1st of January 2021, then there are some sort of different rules and so on. But I don't know if you're aware, but we had the new immigration rules that was introduced last week, which will capture all Italian nationals as well as European nationals coming to the UK for the first time to work. But I don't want to go on too much without speaking to you guys. So I want to ask you, do you have something similar in Italy for a UK national who's currently living there, again, who's perhaps been living there for 10, 20 years? How would it work with you guys?
Yes, the B-Day in Italy is December 31st.
Yeah.
And the situation is that if they are already registered, they must apply for a different document, which is similar to a certificate of residency. It's just a different name under the settlement scheme. Otherwise, it's vital someone who wants to maintain the EU right, the rights for as a EU citizen to register within and not later December 31st. We advise clients to do it in advance because Italian rules provide for that the application is sent online, but the local city hall where the application is filed has 45 days to confirm it or reject it. So in case there are any issues, the application, the residency registration may be delayed. So it's better not to wait until the last minute because there may be problems in the documents which are submitted.
Can I ask you this? So let's say on a practical level, I'm a UK national and I want to live in Italy, right? And let's say I apply before the 31st of December, but it's not been confirmed. So let's say I apply on the 28th of December. Would I be okay in that scenario?
If everything is in order, yes, because once your residency application is approved, it's retroactive. So it starts from the date of application. The problem is that we had a client to file with an expired passport or a passport due to expire. So the Comune went on in the processing the application, but they approved it with a date when the new passport was filed.
Right.
So the risk is that you submit all the documents. If any issue, maybe your residency application is accepted with a later date.
Right, right. So it's not from the date of application, it's from the date of approval.
No, it's not from the date of application if everything is in order.
Right.
But if the Comune finds some problems and they don't accept all the documents you have submitted, they may apply a later date. So they may say, we will confirm the application from the day you submitted all the documents which are to be in order.
Right. And so what happens if I travel to Italy from the 1st of January 2021?
So in that case, UK citizens will be treated by all means as non-EU nationals. So they will be entering just like in the Schengen area. And we know that if it's reciprocal, there will be visa waiver agreements with also with the EU. So they would be like a US Canadian citizens. They will need their passport and health insurance, you know, all the requirements that you need to travel to Schengen for tourism or business for up to 90 days within a 180-day period.
So what if I'm working for a company and that company wants to say, right, Marcia, we're going to transfer you to Italy from the 1st of January. You know, as I mentioned before, under the UK law, we now have an immigration process which is completely new, which comes into effect from the 1st of December. And that's specifically to incorporate European nationals. So as a quick example, the resident labour market test is being removed. So a company that wants to employ a European national, an Italian national, no longer has to test the resident labour market to say whether a British national could do that job instead. Is there anything like that in Italy?
No, not exactly, but definitely there are two issues. First, I want to touch also the previous point. The 90 days you mentioned, that is a Schengen rule, apply to all your stays in the Schengen area. Pay national visit in Italy should be careful that also the days spent in other Schengen countries will be calculated for the purpose of the 90 days.
Right.
The second important point is that British nationals, but like US nationals and non-UN nationals, are allowed to enter with a visa waiver, but for business, tourism, not for work.
Right, sure.
So, unless there are some few Schengen countries have some exceptions for short-term work, like models or actors. Most of the Schengen countries, they don't make any.
Wow. So really what you're, I suppose, saying, Marco, is that a UK national who enters Italy from the first time from the 1st of January is just going to be treated like any other non-Italian, aren't they? So they're going to be, you know, the term often used is third country nationals.
Yeah, you're correct. And the fact that is again another problem in many of the Schengen countries, business is very broadly defined. So most of the countries, they say business meeting, attend the exhibition, fairs, visit a company. So you don't have a definition of a business. You have a definition of work. So basically any paid activities. If you are going to Italy for one day for one fashion show, I'm assisting the largest Italian agency for models, for example. One of the issues that we are having is that even for 1 week, fashion week in Milan, non-EU models should enter with a work permit and work visa.
Wow. And how long then? Okay, I'm not a model, clearly, but you know, if I worked for a model agency and I was coming into Italy from the 1st of January, I would obviously need work permission to do that. How long would that type of work permission take for me to obtain?
It's long. I mean, it's long. It's long considering the business needs.
Right.
So it takes 1 month to collect the documents. In Milan, when it was before the COVID, it took 1 month to get a work permit. So you can imagine that for most of the businesses, you are asked to go in one place the next day.
Wow. Wow.
Many new companies like US, Canadian, they don't need their workers, they don't need a visa, and they play on this unclarity, on this
Yes, of
gray
course.
area. But it's going to be a bigger issue even in 1 year time when Schengen, right now, when you enter Schengen, they check your passport, they scan your passport to see if it's valid, but they don't record the time. There is not yet a record, an electronic system in all entry points in Schengen. The schedule, unless it's delayed, is by the end of 2021, each entry points at the border in Schengen will have an electronic recording system like there is in the US or many other countries. So frequent reasons travelers will be immediately detected if there is any overstays. And then there may be questioning by the authorities, say, why are you going to Milan once a week for 3 days? Is this really for business, or what kind of activities are you carrying out locally?
Yeah, I understand that. Wow, there's a lot to consider, to be honest, and I think it will be interesting. You and we might be talking again in 6 or 7 months' time to see what it all looks like. What I want to ask you now is, what hints or tips would you give UK nationals right now living in Italy and any who are coming in after the 1st of January?
Definitely, people who are in Italy now to register as soon as possible. Actually, I have to tell you that we had some clients who, due to the fact that they are working already remotely, were asked to work remotely from their companies in the UK, and they just rented a place in Italy for keeping not maintaining, because they didn't live in Italy before, but they wanted to be sure to have a legal status and the freedom of movement even after January 1st. And I had a couple of clients who were on purpose renting a place in Rome just for the purpose of registering and acquiring this, let's say, EU citizenship right status. After January, there is not much we can do. I mean, what we on the side of our Italian government, for example, I'm in a group where we are suggesting to the government some change to the regulations. And one of the things I'm suggesting is to include some short-term work permits.
Right.
Some countries like US, Canada, Australia, where if you enter the country up to 30 or 60 days for work, you are entitled to obtain a visa even upon arrival.
Right,
to declare that you're working and you meet certain conditions, you can easily get a work permit and be legally staying in the country for work reasons. Italy does not have this kind of, most of the Schengen countries, I tell you, they don't have this facility. So you have to go through the ordinary process of obtaining a work permit, and it takes weeks in the best case scenario, or months in normal.
Brilliant. Look, I've really enjoyed talking to you both today. So thank you so much for your contributions. And like I said, it may be that we do this again in the next few months to say, right, free movement happened. Where are we now? So thank you very much.